Shifting to John, this is a fun one because, as I said, I met John when we were still in an apartment, and we had breakfast just up the road at Cafe de la Presse. And at the time, Comcast Business was a sizable business, but still, in its infancy relative to where it was, and was primarily, offering core services. So, John, maybe it'd be great to just talk about your journey over the last many years and what you've observed.
Yeah, it's been a good ride, and I do remember that meeting. I don't know if you remember the piece of advice I gave you. Do you remember?
You gave me a lot of wisdom. I think it was hire someone who has operational experience.
We came from, I came from a startup as well, and there was a lot of similar journeys. But the hardest part is getting the partners is the easy part. Getting the partners to figure out how to sell through is the hard part. And that's a journey that, that's why we're here, right? Because that is the hardest part in figuring out how you actually deploy value to ultimately the end users. And so it's been a journey. But yeah, when I got acquired by Comcast, look, it's been a fantastic ride. Comcast, largest cable company in the country. But Comcast Business was relatively new and small compared to the cable company in and of itself. And we were doing about $750 million of revenue or so. So that was roughly it. That was 2010. But today, we're close to $7 billion. And, that's been an 8-year journey of organic growth. And you can imagine the amount of work and just do it organically to be able to grow at that pace. And just to give you a sense of scale, we add a new business to our network about every 15 seconds. So it's high scale, high pace. And there's a lot of opportunity. One of the opportunities we did see is product extension. And we got in business largely selling broadband services based off our residential service, because it turns out the bakery down the street isn't so different than the household around the block. They need a broadband service, maybe a couple telephone lines, and maybe a TV up in the corner, right? So very similar to the household. So as we took that and we grew the small business segment, worked really well. But after doing that for several years, we wanted to figure out how we extend. And extension in some of the changes that I helped drive in the organization are extending not only core products, but in terms of just more feature functionality, et cetera, but other products like Wi-Fi services and things that are very adjacent to broadband service. But when we had the chance to meet, I was on a journey trying to figure out, well, this cloud thing seems pretty cool, right? And Comcast, along with Google and AppDirect's, and a lot of organizations, the fact that we can virtualize things now, right? Fast, reliable broadband, virtualization, and the investment that's happening in the cloud actually makes all this stuff real. So it's been cool to be a part of that journey. But the interest of product extension was really our primary motivation, is to see what other additional value could we take to our customers. And I was looking around for different partners, and we decided we were not going to build. We wanted to partner, and of the three, I think Dan and Nicholas had the best vision. And it was still very nascent at the time, but we signed the contract anyway. And 5 years later, I'm happy to say we've got tens of thousands of customers up on it. And it's been a really great relationship. We've learned a lot along the way. We don't have all the answers. There's still a ton to learn. But that's part of it is you talked about, Steve, right? You get to experiment, try, fail. And yeah, we've had a few failures for sure. But through conversations with you all and the AppDirect team support, we've made good strides. And I tell you, what I'm most pumped about is what you announced at this conference. I told you backstage, this is like a new company. Those tools seem super powerful. And I think I've got a dozen different ideas rattling around in my head right now, figuring out how we can take advantage of that, ultimately to extend the value to our customer.
Appreciate that, John.